Hi, my name is Vernon Hargraves, linebacker coach of the 2001 national champion Miami Hurricanes. What I'd like to share with you today are some drills and techniques that we use here at the University of Miami to help our linebackers be as successful as possible. Hopefully these drills and techniques will allow you and your linebackers to become as good as they'd like to be. What we're going to start here is what I think is, obviously it's the starting point, I think it's most important is our stance. The first part about our stance is our feet are going to be shoulder width apart. We're going to have our chin over our toes, and every place I have a joint, I want to have a bend from my ankles to my knees to my waist. I want to have a nice flat back, okay, head and eyes up, and so I can see what's going on and read my keys and know where I have to go. What we're doing here, the drill that we're working here is a footwork drill that gets us going in the right direction and not having any type of false steps. The command that I'm going to give here is ready. And ready just tells these guys to get their feet right. I mean, I want their toes slightly inside, heels kicked out, okay? Bend, and then stance, and they'll drop their hands on stance. And now what we're going to do is the first part of the drill is all I'm going to give them is I'm going to give them jab, jab, jab. And all we're working on is that initial step downhill, okay? That initial step downhill. Now what we're working is a shuffle, just one short shuffle. And what I want to do on that shuffle is I want to make sure I'm balanced. Okay, we'll go about two or three times. We'll go to the right, we'll go to the left, and I want to make sure I stay in balance. Okay, I don't want to get my feet too close together. All right, I don't want to get out of balance. I want to be able to change direction if I have to. Now the third part is we'll go to two shuffles. I don't want them hopping too much. Okay, always working downhill, ready, bend, stance, and it'll be shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Now what we'll do here is we'll try to put it all together. As linebackers, you have to be able to keep your shoulders square and change direction, especially when the ball is in the tackle box. So what we're working here is the ball being in the box and then changing direction. So the running back gets the football, starts to go one way, and changes direction and comes back. Now, in order for us to make a play and be in good position, our shoulders have to be square, and we have to be able to come back. As soon as we cross our feet over, now we won't be able to come back and make a play if the running back happens to cut the ball back. Now, the next phase, some fundamental bag drills that we'll use. This one is just 1 foot through. And again, we're just working on picking our feet up. We want to finish through that last bag. We want to explode off that last bag. Okay? And again, it's just about picking up our feet and getting going. Now we come back and we'll go with 2 in each shoot. Okay? And again, it's about picking up our knees, head and eyes up, working our way through. And I'll go once each way, going back and forth. A lot of this has to do with making our way through trash and guys blocking us and things like that. Okay. Now the next one here. Now we're getting into really working hard on our feet, and we'll get 4 in each shot. We want to pat it and get 4 in each shot, staying low, pumping our arms, nice and quick. Working on quick feet here. Now what we'll do is we'll work on our shuffle technique, and again. Not crossing our feet over. We want to shuffle, still keep our pads down. We want to accelerate off that last bag and get downhill. Shuffle, chin over the toes, head and eyes up. All right, those guys looking at those bags, I want you getting down here. And again, what we're working there is keeping good balance. As we're coming across, if guys are blocking us, we want to have our head and eyes down there and being ready to take on a block if we need to. Okay, this is just another shuffle drill about, again, keeping good body position, head and eyes up. The reason why I'm using the football is so that they keep their eyes on me. You see them sometimes looking down at the bags. I mean, I want them to be able to have good balance, chin over the toes once again. The reason why I have the ball is so again, they're keeping their eyes on me and seeing the target, seeing that guy with the football. Shuffling, staying nice and low, depending on what kind of scheme you use. If you want your guys shuffling, this is a nice drill here. Pad level down, knees bent, shuffling, not crossing over, and not getting your feet too close together. A lot of these drills can be used as warm-ups, but I also think they're good for the footwork of your linebackers. This is a little bit of a fun drill here, and it's a little bit of a competitive drill where we're trying to get over and get back and see how fast we can get it going. And again, not crossing over, and working using good footwork here. We'll go one side going one way and going back the other way. Drills you can use for pass drops, and depending on what kind of pass drops you use. This works. What we'll do is I'll have them open it, get their feet moving, open their hips up on the line, staying on the line, and then bring them right back to line and back at me. So we want to keep our hips on the line. We're going to turn and cross over, run, staying right on that line. Going back, gaining depth, setting when the quarterback sets, and then coming back downhill. Now what we'll do is we'll gain ground at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so again, this works into your zone pass drops, whatever those are. It works those muscles and gets those guys coming off at an angle. Okay, and I'm talking 45 degrees, trying to get back 5 yards, setting on that line and coming back downhill. We'll go both sides. We'll go to the right and come back to the left, and again, so any kind of zone drop that you're using. What we're working on here is our spot drops, getting set, when the quarterback sets, and breaking on the ball, breaking on arm action. The quarterback turns his shoulders, boom, be ready to break downhill and make the interception. Okay? Same deal here, get back, set when the quarterback sets, the quarterback turns his shoulders, takes his front hand off the ball, turns his shoulders, now we want to break downhill towards the football. Set when the quarterback sets, quarterback turns his shoulders, hand off the ball, breaking back downhill. Great drill here that we use and we incorporate tackling, working ourselves downhill, and then also taking on a low block. We want to make sure we get our head knives down and get him on the, see that blocker, feel that blocker down there, because if we don't look at him, he'll roll us up. He'll get on our legs and he'll roll us up. So we want to get our head knives down there on the blocker, get him away from our feet, and then I want to get my head back up, find the ball carrier and explode, and get a nice form tackle using my head, get my face across, and biting the football. So we'll start them off with feet, work downhill, low block, and a nice tackle right here, and we want to drive. What we want to do is we want to finish those tackles with for about 5 yards. I want to take that guy and I want to drive him back about 5 yards. We got to get our feet going and get him knocked back. And again, it's a great drill for your guys to, you can incorporate and take care of two or three different things here. Like I mentioned earlier, if we don't pay attention to that guy, if we don't get our feet away from him, he's going to roll us up. He's going to get on our legs, and he's going to grab us, and he's going to try to get us on the ground. We got to get some separation and then go ahead and explode once we get around the tackling area. The next drill that we're going to come to is pretty much working a similar type situation. We're working a low block, a high block, and then we're working on the tackle. Okay. Now, certainly, you know, if you don't have the balls to use, you can use players there to simulate the low block and the high block, and then incorporate the tackle. So now you're getting a couple of different things taught and a few different things done here. And again, we're still talking about giving ground on the low block, and then if I have to give ground here on the high block, then coming and making a tackle. We use the sleds and 5-man sled. Again, if you don't have a sled at your disposal, you can use the players. But what we're working on here is just shedding, two-hand shiver facing hands. Okay, use this on offensive linemen. Working laterally here and just making sure we got good body position and keeping our feet moving when we make the contact. Okay, shoot the hands, get them stopped, keep them away from our body, and rip off that last dummy. And again, what you'll see here, like the last one here is pretty good. He's keeping good body position. Okay, we're getting the guy stopped, getting him off us, keeping our feet moving, and getting through. Now, on the lower side over there, we're incorporating the low block. Okay, here we're keeping that outside leg back and away, from the blocker there. What we want to do is, more often than not, that blocker is going to come and he's trying to cut our outside leg. And that's what they're taught to do. They're going to attack the outside thigh pad. And so what we want to do is we want to get our head knives down. We want to keep that thing away from him so that now we can continue down the field. And again, it's about getting separation right there. We want to shoot the hands, get them away from us, and get some separation. What we're doing here is we're working on, again, facing hands and just being in good body position and a good position to take on a blocker. And this particular technique, again, is a facing hand technique. And what we want to do is we want to get our hands inside. Bang, just shoot them up right now. We don't want to get them too wide. Staying square and low and having my chin underneath his. What we're instructing here is taking on a second level blocker or a lead blocker. Okay? And what we talk about is we want to use the same shoulder and same foot when we make the contact. So if I'm at, whether it's a 5-2 linebacker or a 4-3 linebacker, and I'm coming and I'm taking on a lead block, when I make the contact with the lead block, what I want to make sure I do is use the same foot and the same shoulder. So what I will do is I will put them in that position now, and so that they can feel where they need to be. Now, from there, what I'll do is, once I take them out of the fit and step them back, now what I'll do is I'll take them back a couple yards and let them walk to the fit. Because when we take on that blocker, we want to make sure we got the same foot and same shoulder in the ground. Same foot in the ground, and we're hitting with that same shoulder right there. If we don't, he can probably get us driven out of the hole. So again, this is the same drill here. We're going to take and fit. He's probably a little bit overextended here. Same foot, same shoulder. So we can get the feel of it. And again, we're going to step him back so we can get the feel of making that, when he makes contact, same foot, same shoulder. Staying square. One of the things that we want to make sure we do when we do take on the lead block is we want to get a lot of the guy. We want to hit him thick and we want to hit him deep. I don't want to take too much on one side because he can knock us out of the hole. The next drill that we're working here is just a rip technique. Okay, and again, if it's a fast flow player, if it's an outside player where we're trying to get away from that blocker, and we're not going to use facing hands, and we don't have to take them on with the same foot, same shoulder. Now what we want to do is we want to rip and we want to get by him. So we want to clear the blocker and then get ourselves squared up till we can make a tackle. Body position is still low. We want to always plan our stance. We're going to be down here. We want to rip. And now at the end here, what we want to do is we want to make sure we get ourselves back to square. On this particular rep here, the linebacker's shoulders are kind of still towards the sideline. We want to get our shoulders square and back downhill. Okay, so we're able to make a tackle. So we'll use that rip technique based on what kind of play we get. We want to aim for the armpit of that blocker. We want to turn. We want to get skinny, and we want to dip and punch that hand through and get back to square so we can find the ball. This next drill I'm going to get to is what we call a drop and reroute drill. And basically what it is if you're playing in a zone coverage and you're going back and you're getting back to a spot drop, whether it's a curl or the hook area or whatever the case may be, and you need to reroute the receivers, we'll go ahead and work this drill so that the guys get used to getting back there and getting back to their spots and get their hands on guys and balancing back up to find the quarterback and being able to set when the quarterback sets. And basically all we're doing is trying to simulate what that linebacker is going to see, whether it's the Mike linebacker dropping off the tight end and he has to go and reroute him, or a Will linebacker off another number 2 receiver. Some ball drills that we do, just to incorporate again with the zone drops, kind of plays into the same 45-degree drops that we were taking before. We want to go 45 degrees to about 5. We want to set, we want to shuffle, and then we want to work back downhill. Okay, now we're looking to catch the football. We're going to get our feet moving. We're going to go 45 degrees, set, shuffle, and then work back downhill, find the ball. And again, what this simulates is I've taken my zone drop, I've set, I'm looking at the quarterback, I'm breaking downhill in front of the receiver to go catch the football, intercept the football. So now we get a chance to work all those different phases in the passing game. And we talk about catching the football. It's all about hands and eyes and making sure we're seeing the ball. I want to see your eyes on the football because you can't catch it if you don't look at it. Okay, the next phase that we're going to go to here is we're going to talk a little bit about what we call our can drill, and we'll give the linebackers all their run reads off of this particular drill here. And what I'll do as a coach is I'll stand back there as a tailback or whatever back it is that you're reading and give them their reads from here so that now we know where our fits are. And we want to make sure that when you do this drill, I want to try to get as many guys working. It looks a little bit like a lot of guys work, but we want to try to get as many reps as we can in these particular drills here. Obviously, this is something that you can do. As you can see, we're not in pads at all, but it gets them working, going in the direction that they're supposed to. We want you working downhill as fast as you can, no false steps. Our first step needs to be positive and going where we're supposed to be. Okay, now in this particular one here, we're working a counter read. And what I want to see here is, again, when we talk about the counter read, we want to try to eliminate all those false steps that they want us to take when they give us a counter. Okay, so we're going to teach that. We're going to teach it that when they see that counter read, they shouldn't be shuffling and moving with it. They should be going in the opposite direction because that's where the ball is going to go. And then you can use that particular drill for whatever runs that you're going to see. This particular drill we call a counter drill, and basically what we're going to do is the coach is going to simulate the kind of look that we're going to get if we get a counter step. And now, like I said earlier, we want to try to eliminate that hop step by the linebacker, but if we get it, we have to be able to come back, and for all the outside linebackers, they're probably going to, their angle is going to be a little bit wider than the Mike. Mike or inside linebacker is probably going to be a little bit tighter, but those outside linebackers, when they get that counter, they're going to be working back downhill, trying to get back downhill. It's going to be a little bit wider than the inside backer. So now what we'll simply do is, and we'll get them on that inside cone, okay? Now they have to work back the other way, and again, working themselves around the cone. We would work the same drill with the Mike linebacker, and the only difference would be that he would release inside the cone. Okay, once he comes back around and finishes the drill, he'll release inside the cone. This next drill here, we call it a rail drill, and basically what it is in certain situations, as I go towards where the ball is going, that blocker is going to be somewhere either high on me or low on me, and that will tell me what to do and how to take him on. If he's right on my track, and if it's an outside play, then I'll rip him and get by. If he's high on me, and what I mean by high is, if he gets out of the track and up the field, then I'll rip him underneath. If he's right on my track, and I may have to face and hands him, that's what I'll do. Like in this particular situation here, if he's right downhill on me right now, then if I have to use face and hands on him, then that's what I'll do. I want to talk a little bit about tackling. We have a couple of different drills here that we'll use. This first one is just a real close quarter angle tackle here, and all we're working is getting our face across, driving our feet inside out, head and eyes up, and seeing the football. The next drill that we'll use is just an angle tackle or a sideline tackle, and what we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure we stay on the backside hip. We want to make sure we force him to the sideline and don't give him a two-way go. We want to eliminate where he can get to. This is a pretty good rep here by this linebacker. He's on the backside hip. He's taking away the inside, and he's shooting his face across the ball right at the last minute. As soon as he gets into the contact area, and he's driving him back about 5 yards. That's a pretty good drill right there. Here what we're working is we're working a tackling drill once again, and this is early in spring practice with no pads. And we're working just the techniques here, the techniques of the drill, even though we don't have any pads on, so that when we do put the pads on, we'll know what we're doing. The first guy, and I represent just the first blocker to get him going. The second blocker is going to be a rip. We want to rip, and then we want to get a nice angle tackle, form tackle at the end. Okay, staying nice and square. Yeah, the reason why I have him finishing behind the ball carrier is because, again, we want to make sure we stay out. Don't get too over the top of the ball carrier. We don't want to get in front of the ball carrier. We want to stay on that backside hip. We want to rip, and stay right on that backside hip. Then when it comes time to tackle, we'll shoot our head across. So here now, once we get the pads on, same drill, we'll get the rip, head and eyes across, nice form tackle, rip, and tackle. Now, Another tackling drill that we'll use, again, we're working downhill at an angle, staying square, exploding, running our feet at the end and drive, drive, drive. Bang, we want to get face across and run those feet. Biggest thing with tackling is once you make your contact, get your head and eyes across and run your feet. One of the big drills that we use to get them to run their feet, we'll use the popsicle or one-man sled, and we're going to drive, and this is all about making the contact, head and eyes up, and driving the feet. What we're going to do here is we're going to add, we talked about ripping the blocker and coming back to square and being able to make a tackle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually add the ball carrier. The yellow pad represents the hole there, and it's going to be a small area. And once I rip, I got to get back to square and be ready to come downhill and make a tackle. What you see here is a linebacker ripping and trying to get himself back to square. This is not bad here. Good pad level's not bad. Rip, getting back to balance and staying low. Okay, this one here is a good illustration of probably getting knocked a little bit outside of the hole there. We want to be a little bit more firm on that block and getting myself back downhill and square. Probably a little bit too high on this one. Linebacker's a little bit high. He's going to get knocked off balance. Okay, we want to get down and we want to get as low as we possibly can. Get skinny here. This is not a bad job right here. Get skinny and make a nice tackle. Rip, get your head across and drive. On this particular drill, what we're working is facing hands on the lineman, trying to get separation, seeing the ball carrier and reacting to what he does. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work at the V of the neck of the ball carrier. We're going to try to be as low as we possibly can, stay as low as we can, use our facing hands, get some separation. If the ball carrier cuts back, we have the ability to cut back and make the play. If he stays front side, we can fall back and or get over the top and make the play there as well. Sometimes he stays front side. So now use facing hands, get off, and now accelerate our feet on the contact and drive him back. It's not bad here. Good separation, good body lean, get him off. Now fight back and drive, drive, drive. We want to try to knock him back. Not bad job on the drill there. Facing hands, and we want to make sure we get our separation, get that guy knocked back, because he's going to continue to try to block us. We've got to try to get him under control if we can. Good. Facing hands, separation, accelerate the tackle. Now what we're going to get into right now is some of the plays that we're going to see and how we'll defend them. And now what you'll see is some of the same techniques applied here on our lead blocks. Good same foot, same shoulder, taking on the blocker and the linebacker, coming over the top and trying to make the tackle here. That was to the strong side, to the weak side, same thing. We want to hit the block. We want to get to the blocker as deep and as thick as we can. Get a lot of them. We get them about a yard deep. We want to knock them back, keep in leverage, and get to the ball. And I tell the linebacker that's taking on the block, I want him to try to stone the guy, get him stopped, and also be able to come off and make the play. It may sound like a lot, but I think a lot of times those guys have a good chance to do it. Now, incorporated in this particular play here is that same footwork and shuffle drill that we talked about before. As you can see, the ball carrier is starting to the right. We're shuffling, working downhill. Now he comes back. We make the same adjustment and come back and make the play. Now, in this particular play here, the weak side linebacker is going to try to use the facing hands here, get off the block, and just turn and run and get to the football. Anytime we're taking on an offensive lineman, we want to try as best we can not to give him much surface to block us. So that's why we use facing hands, even though they're a little bit bigger. We want to use facing hands on him and try to keep him away from our body and get off him as fast as we possibly can. We're going to shed. We're going to try to stay as square as we possibly can here. And everybody just making their way to the football. This particular play, we call Power O, and it's probably one of the top plays that we're going to see in the particular defense that we play. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see the linebackers keeping the shoulder square and being able to make the play even though he's trying to get blocked. And this is the middle linebacker here. They're blocking down on him, but he stays nice and square, sees the football, wraps, drives his feet, and knocks the ball carrier back. We'll get the same play again. Now, in this particular play here, the blocking scheme is a little bit different. So now the linebackers, again, they're keeping their shoulders square, working downhill, pressing the line of scrimmage, and seeing the football. Now, if we don't get that block, then that should keep us free to the football either way. Now, what we're going to talk about here are just a couple of different types of tackles. Certainly, we talked already about angle, working downhill, ripping, and getting to the ball carrier. Here, what we're going to see is we're going to talk about an open field tackle, okay, where the ball carrier gets the ball out in space, and it's up to us to make the play. There's a lot of green grass out there, and what we have to do is we have to get ourselves under control, balance up, run our feet, stay on the inside of them so you can't cut back, and be able to make the play in space. What we incorporate here is that angle tackle that we showed a little bit earlier. Okay, we want to stay on the inside part of the ball carrier. Now, at the last minute, you want to try to shoot your head across. But what I'll tell you is that when we get out in space, sometimes you're not going to be able to make that picture perfect tackle. And what you want to try to do is just get the guy on the ground. Now we're working across the formation. And again, as you can see, it kind of looks like that same angle tackle that we worked a little bit earlier in the tape. One of the major problems with linebackers missing tackles is sometimes they want to try to make the tackle from too far away. What you have to make sure your linebackers do is take that one extra step of getting to the football. Here we're getting power to the weak side. The will linebackers working downhill, scraping hard off the end, being able to balance up and make a nice angle form tackle here. Sometimes when you get out in space, like I said before, you need to be able to get the guy on the ground. And I think here, this is a good illustration of the linebacker keeping his knees bent, playing from inside out, coming to balance, and striking a blow. And again, same thing here, coming to balance and striking a blow. I hope there was something in this tape that you could use and that you could apply to your linebackers and something that would be helpful for you in the future. Thank you very much.